Welcome to Real Pod. I'm so happy to have you guys. My first guest in the home stude.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I know.
So happy to be here.
These are so comfy. It's great.
Thank you. And thank you guys for fitting this into your busy lives as you prep. So first of all, congratulations. So exciting. I'm sure you've seen all my comments on Insta. Like, I'm so happy for you guys. Me and Dave Belasco, we're on every post. I love him so much.
He's the best.
Shout out. He's definitely going to listen. But I'm so happy for you both. It's so well deserved. How are you guys even processing the fact that you are going to be competing in the Olympics together just from the amazing history you've had playing with each other? Like, it has to be so surreal. Because this was always probably the dream, right?
Yeah, it's so surreal. Yeah, since college, wanted to do this, and it's how many years later, and it's finally happening. Yeah, it's so special.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really even believe it's happening. It's been, everyone keeps asking me, are you so excited for Paris, for everything? I'm like, until I get there, I don't even know if it's going to hit. But I'm just so excited to be doing it with Kelly. Like you said, we've had a lot of history together, and it's so much fun to be back together and competing for a gold medal.
Your video with your family, was that not so sweet?
So sweet. I cried, for sure.
Oh, same. I mean, you probably dreamed of that moment your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I was a little girl, like the first time I stepped onto a beach volleyball court, I was playing with one of my best friends, and we both wrote in the sand that we wanted to go to the Olympics. And she's actually going for Justine for the indoor team.
Oh my gosh, it was Justine.
Yeah,
Oh,
so to be there together is going to be really special. And then, yeah, the moment with my family was so special, and it was hard to even speak. I just started crying, but it's really cool to be going to my first Olympics.
It's amazing. And I feel like the interesting thing about beach volleyball and the qualifiers is you can get an inkling, right? Okay, we're in a nice spot. What was the moment that you knew 100% it was locked in? Obviously, you guys were so dominant. What was the exact day or the exact win, and how did you feel?
Wow. Well, I mean, technically the qualifying didn't end until a couple weeks ago, the last tournament that we actually won. But like you said, the beach volleyball qualifying is a little interesting. It's a 1.5-year qualification period, and they take your best 12 tournaments, and you also have to be in the top 16 in the world and the top 2 for your country.
Lots of hoops to jump through.
Yes. So the exact moment, I mean, I don't know if we really had one of we won this match, we won this tournament, we're in. I mean, we did win the world championships, which was incredible. And a lot of the times the teams that win worlds automatically win a bid to the Olympics. But for Team USA, we won a bid for our country. So it's a little confusing. But in that moment, we got a lot of points. We had a really good tournament. So we were looking pretty good after the world championships, I would say.
Yeah. It's so interesting. My last run, there was a definitive moment. Because my old partner and I, we were the third USA team for almost the entire qualification period. And then there's 2 tournaments left. We won the first one, passed the second team, so we became the second. And then that team lost in the qualifier. So mathematically, they couldn't pass us. So, I have a recording of, that moment because we were watching them in the qualifier. We were at the hotel and, screaming, celebrating, oh my gosh, we did it. I think there's been a lot of kind of little moments because of everything Sara said. There was because of USA and those rules, world champs wasn't a guaranteed, you guys are punching your ticket. So I'm actually really excited. We're having a little send-off party. And I think that's going to be really special to get to kind of celebrate and take it in. And then kind of like Sara said, I think showing up and being there is so different than kind of imagining it. Yeah. So I think I'll feel even more being there,
Speaking of that, it is such a big moment, of course, but as elite athletes, you can't really let your mind create this story of how big this moment is because you want to go into it like it's any other match that you guys show up for to win. So how are you mentally allowing yourself to feel the excitement and be so proud of yourself, but then also keep your head in the game and almost minimize it in a way?
I mean, that's a really good point. I've obviously never been to the Olympics. This will be my first one, but we've had a lot of team discussions. And at the beginning of this year, we had a little team retreat and we talked a lot about all of these things, which was really special. But just trying to get advice from different people and different players that have been there, they really try to tell you, like, just treat it like any other tournament. Of course, enjoy it, be a part of it. And for our team, you know, we can play the day after the opening ceremonies. And it was going back and forth. Do we even go to the opening ceremonies? We might have to play the next day. Will we be tired from that? But Kelly and I sat down and we were like, we are going to regret not doing the opening ceremonies. So we have like a lot of team decisions we're doing. So it's just one of those moments where it's like mentally, yes, we are locked in. We want to win gold and we're there to win. But this is a once in a lifetime experience and we want to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think also maybe just compartmentalizing, sitting down and kind of planning, when we're in Paris. I think the second day we're there, our coaches are kind of giving us the day off. Like, go explore, like, really see the village, like, go experience as much as possible. And then after that, kind of lock back in. So I think having, like, these little bits, our party that's coming up, having little moments like that to celebrate it so that when we go back, either at a tournament or practice, it's like, okay, I've had that high, now I'm locked back in.
And Kelly, what specific things are you like, we're going to do this differently this year? Or I know we can do this and we will still be good at that because of the experience you had at the last Olympics.
Yeah, I think creating systems is really important. Didn't have any type of experience before Tokyo, so felt a little bit like we were winging it. But kind of like Sarah said, very much treating it like any other tournament. Obviously, that's hard. Like, there's so much hype. Like, we're always wearing USA on our chest, but, like, it's just different at the Olympics. But I think Sarah and I have instilled a lot of systematic things while we're on the court that I think really help us reconnect, be present, not get distracted by anything. I think we really solidified a lot of those things in our last tournament, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter where we are because we're going to keep doing these things and keep reconnecting, and, like, nothing else matters. There's no other distractions. We're just, like, locked in together. And for sure, like, did not have that at the last. Because, again, like,
Yeah.
yes, there was no fans, but still, there was just so much going on. And because of COVID, I got taken out of the village. It's just, like, there were so many of these, like, uncontrollable factors that now, because we've had this experience, got to talk about, got to plan for, and yeah, get to just go out and have fun and do the things that we want to do.
And by systems, you're talking about, like, the pregame warm up that you do the same way every time, like the coming together after each point. Is that what you're kind of alluding to?
Yeah, exactly. So an example, there's just moments of, like, higher stress or higher anxiety. And Sarah brought up a really cool breathing technique. So we started doing that when one of us is stressed before the game, even on side switches. We hold hands on side switches. There's just, like, lots of these little moments that, like, maybe people miss, maybe people think are insignificant, but are so important to us and just really reconnect us. And I think that's when we play our best.
The bond has to be so special, like, to do something like this. I mean, even breathing. Like, if I went up to my husband Max and was like, "Let's hold hands and do this breathing pattern together," like, that's intimate. Like,
Very intimate.
so I'm actually curious. I was thinking about this. What do you think, like, makes a good pair great? Like, are you best friends off the court, or is it just we have the same work ethic? Like, what are the top, like, 3 ingredients that you think make your bond so special?
Yeah, I mean, I would say for Kelly and I think our number one, and we both say this, is communication. And we are constantly communicating. And yes, we are great friends on and off the court, but it's like we also are not hanging out 24/7. Like, we have our separate lives, but I think that's a good thing. It's like we can be together in our special moments and have that time to grind together and to play out on the court as hard as we can, but also take a moment to decompress. So yeah, communication is huge for us. We have the same goals when we met up, wanting to establish this partnership and go for the Olympics. We sat down and listed out what we both wanted, and we were exactly on the same page. So that was really cool. And then I think just a mutual respect. I trust Kelly that she's putting in all the hard work on her own just as much as I'm putting on the hard work. Because, like, yes, we're together on the court and we're playing together and practicing, but we're also doing rehab separately. We're working out in the gym separately. So for me, it's just like, hey, Kelly, you can trust me that I'm getting my work done, and I'm trusting you that you're doing your work. Because when we come together, it's a really special moment when we can just perform together. And I think that's exactly like the key to our relationship that's been really phenomenal.
Yeah, I love all of those points. Yeah. If I was to add any more, chemistry, which is very similar to the things that Sara was talking about.
I feel like you guys have telepathy or something.
It is really cool. Like, especially on the court, there's times where I just like, I feel where she is, which is cool. Like, we don't have to say, yeah, exactly.
What is this, like your code?
It's just when we're thinking the same thing, we're just like,
Yeah.
we're just locked in. We're
Like
just,
Kelly will serve a spot, and I was like, that's what I was thinking.
and we're both just like, yep.
Oh my God, I love that.
And then I think the other piece, I think that makes us special, or maybe would make any team special, is the style of play that we already do. Like, you know, bringing into the partnership and where we wanted to go was very similar, if not exactly the same. So going to training and working on these things, like, we're always on the same page because where we're trying to go is the same spot. It's not like pulling teeth or fighting like, oh, well, I think we need to go in this direction. And the other one's like, well, I think we need to go in this direction. And we're kind of butting heads, or maybe you compromise on a middle ground. It's like, no, we both know where we want to go. We're all in for it. An example, I think for so long, beach volleyball was pass in front, set up and down, and hit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's one way to play this game, but I think for so long, you know, that's how the game was played. So just, I think we both love to push the envelope, passing left of middle. This is for Sara, passing left of middle, so I can either option or set her. And Sarah's running these fast plays, either out to the pin, or she'll fake out to the pin and come to me. Like, it's so fun, and you know, it wouldn't be possible, like, with her athleticism, with my athleticism, without Sarah's dedication, like, to that pass. It's been so cool to see her hard work and her dedication and just all in to doing this, because it's hard. Like, the roles were reversed. Like, I can't pass the way that she, you know, has done, and our system wouldn't work without that. So I think trusting each other to, you know, get the work in that we need to be successful is a huge factor.
This will be a tough question, but where does your drive come from? Even as Sara says, like, I trust Kelly to do the work. I know I'm doing the work. I know you guys through, you know, the crossways at USC and whatnot, but I just can tell, and obviously your track record shows, you guys work so hard and you're so driven. Like, where does that come from in the moments that are so tough? Like, to be here doing such a difficult thing and putting yourself in an uncomfortable position every single day. Like, you know, for people who dream of being an athlete at the caliber that you are, like, how do you really, like, explain your grit?
I mean, that's a really tough question. I just think for me personally, it's just who I am. It's always been there. I've always been a fighter, like the good or the bad. It's like everything happens for a reason, and we're going to learn from it, and we're going to keep getting better and better. It's just, I refuse to give up. I think that's a great part about our team. It's like we're known to be fighters. We could be down 8-2 and come back and win a match. We actually lost a match recently, 21-8, and we won in 3. And it's like, we are the team that doesn't matter where we are. We're going to get back up and we're going to fight as hard as we can. And I think that's just always been my mentality. And to be out there with Kelly, her having that same mentality is really special, because we look at each other and we say, win or lose, we're in this together. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. We're in this together, and let's just show the world what we can do. And if that's just only to show the world that we're going to fight for each point, then that's all that matters, because we're never going to give up.
Yeah, very similar. I think it's God-given. I think I was born with it, and it's very, for me, like, closely related to my why. Like, I want to go out and glorify God with the gifts and the passion that he's given me. So I think that's all just tied up together. So, when it's really hard, when I don't want to get out of bed in the morning because maybe I didn't sleep well or whatever, that's what I really try to like lean in on. But it's like Sara said, being able to look over and see someone that has that same drive, that same fight, who wants it just as bad as me. Like, I want to fight for her, not just for me.
And as we talk about this at this like higher level, do you guys feel peace in like the cards had to fall where they did? Everything had to happen the way it happened for this bond to be what it is right now at this moment?
100%. Yeah, everything that's happened within our careers and, the past 7 years has only made us better and has made us even more fighters. And when we came back together, I mean, I've never felt stronger with a partner that I play with beside me. It was really special to come back together with Kelly and to have that moment, to have the same goals, and then to step on the court together. It's just like we never left. It's like that chemistry. It is so much fun to play alongside Kelly, and I absolutely love it. And so, knowing that we're in this together, going into the world's largest tournament, the Olympics, it's there's nobody else I'd want to do it with.
It's so special having all the fun, goofy, all those chemistry pieces that we had, in high school and in college, but now be all grown up and mature and able to have tough conversations and look at each other and just know that we're going to get through this if we just keep communicating, keep fighting to understand each other, be on the same page, and being there for each other for the wins, the losses. Yeah.
It's like a whole other relationship. You probably are like, I have 2 spouses.
This is my work wife.
Literally, right?
Yeah.
I mean, wow. I mean, of course, like it, and the way that it's talked about, it is like, I feel like there's this like divine connection between the two of you. And what are the chances that you had that college career and then now you get to do this together? I'm curious how you maybe look at success differently now than you did winning national championships. I don't know if maybe the younger version of you thought about it differently and now you've had to piece together a more holistic identity of yourself and figure out how you're going to rationalize moments where things don't go your way on the court.
Such a good question. I think I had some really cool eye-opening moments on our 3-week trip to Europe that we just got back from. I think younger Kelly, didn't care about anything except winning, and the world felt like it was ending, or I was a horrible person or a disappointment to everyone, if we lost. But then everything was great if we won. Or I even got to a point, especially at SC, it was so hard because we won so much. It was almost like this is the standard. And I stopped even celebrating wins. It's like, oh, that's what we're supposed to do. So I'm still on that journey of getting out of that mindset. But yeah, I had a really cool experiences on our 3rd week. It was actually against the team that we lost 21-9 in the first. I had been doing a lot of self-reflection these last 3 weeks, trying to like dig in and learn more about myself. And it was 13 all in the 3rd. And I guess I need to back up. I think it was 2 days before I was journaling, and I realized that I've never been proud of how I played if we lost. And I'm like, that's honestly like really sad. And that was, again, a hard realization to have, but I was like, dang, like how can I be proud of myself, like, win or lose, and started journaling and praying and kind of trying to unlock layers under that. And fast forward 2 days later to 13 all in the 3rd against this team. And I was at the net, Sara was serving, and I was like, dang, win or lose, like, I'm really proud of how I played today. And it was nice to get the win, but I knew, like, I don't think I would have felt any different if we had lost, which was really special for me.
That makes me so happy to hear that, Kelly.
I haven't told you, sorry.
No, this is the first time I'm hearing it.
I know.
That makes me so
Yeah.
happy.
Oh, is it because you recognize that's growth for her? Is that something you try to do yourself?
Yeah, I mean, just to go off what Kelly just said, yeah, knowing we have so many. I mean, like you said, this is a relationship. We talk so much. So hearing her say that is so much growth for her. And that makes me so proud and so happy as a teammate, as a friend, as somebody who always has her back. Like that's huge for her. And that's super exciting because I'm always a little bit of the teammate that's pushes the positivity really hard of like, Kelly, we can do this. We got this. And
I'm the negative one.
but obviously
I'm getting better.
But of course, it's so much easier said than done. Like, I know you also have a lot of female listeners, a lot of young athletes, which I think is so cool to your platform. But I just hope they can take out. It's like there are great days, but when it comes to professional athletics, I think sometimes there are a lot more harder days because we're so hard on ourselves. And like Kelly, I take losses really hard. I personally take them hard, but I also care so much about others. So the team around us, my family, my agent, the business manager, my friends, it's like I sometimes feel that I'm letting them down. And that's actually like the hardest for me. But then I get moments of, I call my sister, who's my best friend, and she's like, Sara, it's okay. Like, no matter what, if you quit volleyball tomorrow, we would still love you. And like the first time she said that to me, I just like broke down because I'm like, are you serious? How could you still love me if I'm not out here like doing what I love or trying to be the best at what we're trying to do without it's just crazy. Like people around you care so much and we put so much identity into who we are as athletes and the sport we play. But we have to realize how proud people are of us because of how hard we're working. And yeah, a big thing for Kelly and I right now is, like I said earlier, no matter what, like we're in it together and we win or we lose. Like going into Paris, like we want to win more than anything. But as long as we put our best foot forward and fight every point, no matter the wins or the losses, I think that's going to be the most important thing, to go out and knowing that we've done everything we possibly could have done.
It's so special to hear you both highlight this point that's essentially as athletes or anyone, you're trying to get the promotion, you're trying to get this, you think it's black or white, you win or you lose, you get it or you don't. But at 13-13, if that was the score, whether you won or not, you had a moment that forever, for the rest of your life, will shape like this new version of you. And it's like that is something that will last so much longer than like a physical trophy, right? And I think that it's so easy to lose sight of like, if we don't get this was a waste of time. Or even I think about people and their relationships, like if it doesn't work out, it's like, no, but you're the person you are now because of the experience you had.
Yeah. I think too, we brought this up a little bit earlier, even when it comes to wins, I think sometimes, especially for us, we're like, how do we get better? Like we won the world championship and it was like, okay, what's next? How do we get better? What's the next win? And something, that my business manager once told me, which has stuck with me throughout a long time of like these last 4 years of, he's like, you got to take in the moment. And I think as athletes, you win and you're like, what's next? What can we achieve next? So sometimes, even in the last tournament, I told Kelly, I was like, after we won, I was like, stop for a second, like look around. There was a crazy crowd. Everyone was cheering. Everyone was up. And I said, we have to remember this moment. So sometimes I just like to like take a look around. Like when we were at the World Championship in the final, before we even started playing, I like looked at the entire stadium. I was like, this is what we're doing in this moment, to like stay in the present moment, to see what we've been achieving and how proud people are around us. It's such a special moment to just like take it all in and not all of a sudden win and then what's next.
That's like the crux of just doing this whole life thing. It's like, it can always be better. I, not at an Olympic best in the world scale, resonate with what you're saying just in everyday life, like being so hard on myself about this can be better if it's not happening this way. So it's just so universal. And I love hearing how much you guys are prioritizing the mental side of things. And I feel like that's a big thing we're seeing in sports now is just the best athletes in the world know I've got to train my mind the same way I'm training my body. What is your current training schedule like leading up to the games? And what are you doing, like the journaling, to make sure that your mind is also ready for this really high pressure experience?
Yeah, we're in the sand together 4 times a week, and then we're kind of doing our own thing outside of that. I jump in the sand with, I guess he's a consultant. Jake Gibb helps out with our team, and I get like some blocking reps with him once to twice a week. The sports psych every week is really important for me. Since our 3-week trip and lots of, I think, really amazing realizations in my life, just like being in the Bible every day is really important to me, and like spending time with Jesus just like fills me up. And I think when things are going good, I forget that. So like really trying to remember that and create a system so I like do it every day, and because it's important to me. But again, like just the busyness of life happens. Yeah, I do Pilates 3 times a week. That's like one of my favorite things that I get to do, and PT, and yeah, it's a full-time job what we do. I have a lot of friends and, people reach out and just like, "Oh, like you guys train in the mornings and that's about it." I'm like, it's like a full-time we also do team meetings once to twice a week. We watch film. It's just like, it is a full-time job.
Yeah, like Kelly said, full-time job for sure. Yeah, like we're practicing, we each get our individual reps, which is cool. It's like we're always, no matter what level you're at, like we're going out there and trying to make each other better, but we each have things we have to work on. So getting out on the sand on our own and working on those things. I'm in the gym 3 times a week with my trainer, who also like is such a positive light and is like very mentally strong. And so I take a lot of, what he teaches me and what he says to heart. So that's really great training for me, both physically and mentally, working with a sports performance coach, sometimes on my own, sometimes as a team, and just, the Paris prep. Like we don't have to do anything crazy new, but it feels a little different these next 5 weeks. It's just not necessarily pressure, but I'm more pumped. I'm like, let's go. Like I want to just not overdo it, but just keep grinding and keep working.
Up.
I'm so fired up. I'm like, I'm telling my trainer, I'm like, okay, how many more sprints do you want me to do in the sand? I'm like, I'm just so excited and so ready to go. It just makes me happy.
Oh my gosh, hype. I can't wait to watch. I love, Kelly, what you said about kind of getting outside of yourself for something bigger. I just the other day, like, can catch myself being so like in my own mind, in my own little life, in my own routine. And then that starts to create anxiety, or I'm hyperfixating. And I have this book I love reading, and it just really grounds me, and it is spiritual. And so like I just pulled it back out, and I'm like, I gotta just like go through this again to just stop the voice in my head, like connect with nature, connect with the world, connect with like just the energy that is flowing all around us, that we can like disconnect to in our phones and in all that. So I think it's such an important reminder, because we can easily get dragged into the monotony of the hustle and bustle.
Okay, drop the book, Rick.
Well,
I'm on the edge of my seat here.
The Real Pod listeners are going to roll their eyes because it's A New Earth, and I always talk about this. It's called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Has some really powerful references to things that Jesus said. I pulled up my phone to find this. Okay. So Eckhart Tolle calls on a bunch of different religions and is explaining like how we can interpret the meanings in different ways. But he's talking about the Beatitudes, and the quote, which I always loved the Beatitudes. I don't know why, I just always loved them. But blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And he's trying to explain like meek can translate to humble, like those who don't have ego, those who aren't consumed in their mind, inherit the earth as in like be present. So I think for me, like reading some things that maybe didn't make sense to me as a kid, or I thought that they meant like, I just didn't know what they meant. And then to understand when we quiet the ego mind and we try to get into the present moment, like how much beauty there is in life right then and there.
I love it.
Yeah, I gotta reread, because I've been off my stuff. I gotta be disciplined, like y'all. So the outfits. Are you guys so excited?
So excited. It just dropped like 2 days ago.
It's like Obviously, playing is like the best part, but like it's up there.
Oh my gosh, that's sick. It's like Christmas from college on steroids.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
We get like 2 huge bags of luggage. One is Nike, one is Ralph Lauren. And it's
Oh my gosh.
the best day.
Was last Olympics? Oh, I thought it was Skims. Was that the year before?
So Skims
Just did the
super
sweats?
nice. They just did like 2 or 3 things that was added into like all of our kits, but
Cool.
there wasn't like a huge Skims bag. But I do love the like 3 Skims things that I got.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Also, just like humanizing, like, yes, like, I feel like people view Olympians as like, oh, they're just focused on the game. It's like, are we?
I love the gear.
I
I
know.
know. We're so excited to get dressed up
Are
and
you
walk
excited
and
to see the
open-
village?
Oh, yeah.
And it's probably going to be newish for you because you did a COVID Olympics.
It's gonna be a normal Olympics. I'm very
Yeah.
excited. Like the Nike House. I mean, all of those.
USA
Yeah,
House.
the USA House.
Yeah, I mean, we want to have fun and explore everything and
wanna
wear all our
experience
Nike
it.
gear.
Are you single?
I'm seeing someone.
Okay. I was going to be like, you know what they say about the village.
Yes, we have heard things about the village.
Lots of things about the village.
Oh my gosh. Well, now it's wild because there's like Alona Mar, who I love, I've had on the show.
I love her.
She's
so awesome.
TikToking from the village. So we feel like we're there. She's showing us like the
Yeah.
rooms. And
She crushed it at the last one.
Yeah.
She's gonna crush it again.
do you guys think about, I know I love your TikTok. Do you guys think about doing content, or is it like, please, like I need to get the medal and then I'll.
I so enjoy consuming content. I just don't have the patience to
Yeah.
do it all the time. I feel like I'll get like a content high and like do a lot, and then I won't want to do it for like 3 months.
Right.
Sarah's much better than me.
I mean, I kind of go in waves too. Sometimes it's just so focused, and honestly, at days like practice, lifting, they're like PT, sauna, like we get home and we're exhausted, and it's like, Kelly, like, I just want to scroll. You're so sweet. My TikTok, I have like 6,000 TikTok followers. So Real Pod, help me out here.
TikTok is great. Oh my
I'm
God. Your video
trying.
went viral of your emotions.
Yeah, that was
Vulnerability.
And
That
that's
people
funny
connect to it.
because sometimes I try so hard on a video and it's like nothing happens. In that video, I was just like, maybe I posted it. I don't know. It was just a special moment, but maybe some people can relate. And then it blew up and I was like, of course, like the one you put no effort into,
Yes.
that means the most. It's just,
That's what people want to see is like
Yeah.
real life moments, not like all these edits, not all these colors. I liked your video where you were like, after my trainer makes me do like 20 sprints, ooh, a treat. And gives
a
me
protein
a
shake.
protein shake. See,
yeah,
I can
athletes can relate. Okay, thanks. I'll try to be a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, priority is bringing home a gold medal, but we
Yeah.
definitely want to show
No,
the world.
please. Oh my God. I hope you're not thinking I'm saying
No,
create content. Yeah.
no. But I think it'll be fun. We'll show off our opening ceremonies outfits, all our Nike gear.
Curious what your little guilty pleasures are. Like, will you be binge watching a Netflix show, like at night in the village? What will you be doing to like take your mind out of Olympic world and into just normal day?
I think.
Any favorite
I mean,
artists?
I definitely like to binge the Netflix shows. We sometimes do it together, like put on.
We do it together.
Like a fun, or we've done like series of like we were doing the Twilight series, and then
So fun.
I know it was so fun.
like
and-
all the movies in order.
Oh yeah, we like rewatch all of them.
All of
We're
them.
just dying.
Oh my gosh.
But I recently got a Kindle, and I've been a Kindle girly. Like you said, just to get out of your own head for a while,
Yeah.
and like just either I like to also like FaceTime with my nephews, and they're just the
right,
cutest.
they have no idea.
No
right? They're
idea. And it's like you could be like, "Oh, I just won." And they're like, "Okay, Auntie, like let me show you my toy truck." Or we just lost, we're in tears, and they're just like, "Well, I love you." We just need their mindset when we step on the court.
I love when you're FaceTiming Jake and he just puts Sarah in his truck and just drives Sarah around the house.
Oh,
And
that
Sarah's
is
like, Jake.
I'm like in the dark for 30 minutes. Like, okay, this is fun.
that's so cute.
So those are my little things. Just read a book, FaceTime with the family. That's important to me.
Okay, last question because you never know who's watching. Who would be your like, oh my God, they tweeted that they watched our match or they wished us good luck? Other than, of course, beloved Snoop.
Oh, we
I was
love
about to say
Snoop.
Snoop would be so good. There's too many good options. I've really looked up to Andre Agassi, so I'm just like waiting for him to see something that I've talked about him, and he just like shows up to a match, and I'm gonna be like, Sarah, I gotta lock back in because I'm so distracted.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have to think about that one. I think just, seeing the past Olympics and seeing how many people watch is really special. I love just seeing people that I grew up with, reaching back out. But I mean, I think you could relate to this one. But I mean, like Taylor Swift,
Oh my gosh.
Travis Kelce.
Do you know that Taylor Swift, true story, last thing I'll say, Gracie Gold, I had her on the podcast recently. She was a big, amazing Olympic figure skater when I was growing up. And Taylor tweeted, like, Gracie Gold, like, loved your routine. They exchanged DMs and then they hung out.
Okay. Yes,
You have to bring me.
of course, we'll bring
into
you.
existence.
Also, I have a theory that she's going to be performing at the opening ceremony.
What?
Because I don't know. I mean, we got asked on
Oh.
NBC this question. I was like, oh, who would you want to perform? And we're like, I mean, Taylor Swift's the biggest thing right now. And she has like a break and she'll be in Europe. My roommate did all this research.
Oh my God, that
She was
would be
like, oh my gosh, she'll
amazing.
be in Europe. And she's off during that time.
Hey.
We have no idea. Okay, we
We'll
have no
see.
idea, but we're...
And now insert clip of her performing because we manifested it. Yes. Thank you both so much. This was so fun. I love chatting with you. I'm rooting for you guys. I'm gonna be watching every game. So excited for you.
Thanks.
Congrats again.
Thank you. Go Team USA.